Oh, Dancing with the Stars, week 3 of season 24, Vegas night. The first ever Vegas night for Dancing with the Stars was last night as we're recording this. I'm Daniel Montgomery. I'm here with Jeffrey Kare. We're here to talk about all the goings on last night, including Normani Kordei topped the leaderboard for the second week in a row, the Fifth Harmony singer. Tied Rashad Jennings last week. This week, Rashad had a rougher week. So Normani Kordei was the highest performance of the night with her foxtrot. What did you think of that performance at the end of the night? I agreed with the judges personally that was the class of the field.
Well, yeah, she really seemed to have ended the night on the high note, with her being the final contestant to have gone on, as well as performing such a classic number from Sweet Charity. And I guess that was such a great way to sell it. Hey, big spender.
Yeah, and she, closed the night, which is always a great spot to be in on Dancing with the Stars if you can pull it off. Simone Biles closed the night in week 1, and she got the top score. By the end of the night, the judges know what everyone else has done, so they know that they don't have to hold back on their scores if to see who else might come afterwards. And of course, if you can give a show-stopping performance that literally stops the show at the end of the night, certainly, you might be in a position to get more viewer votes and higher judges' scores. So I hope they give that advantage to Heather Morris soon, because they keep putting her on early in the show. And this week she finished tied for second place, just 1 point off of Normani. What did you think of her performance? She did a tango with her partner Alan Burston. Alan Burston this week, her regular partner Max Chmerkovsky, was out again due to his injury. But I think this substitute partnership is working just fine for her. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean she really shows more and more how she's a front runner every week. I mean her dance training definitely comes into play here.
Yeah, and tied for second place, which a bit of a surprise given that she's done well, but not this well up to this point, was Nancy Kerrigan. She did a samba, which is a very difficult dance. It's a very sensual dance, and she's had confidence issues that could have had an impact on that. But she she really pulled it off this week, I think, and she seemed to be more confident than ever, and she seemed to be having more fun than ever. And it really does seem that she and her partner Artem Chigbintsev have really kind of found a breakthrough. I hope. I'm rooting for her, so I really hope this is a breakthrough and this keeps up. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, she really has gotten better. I mean, yeah, I think she's definitely someone to keep an eye on. I guess maybe for at least the Final Four.
Yeah, and what was even arguably even more charming than that performance was the clip package, because they performed to Ricky Martin, "Shake Your Bon Bon," and Artem was so giddy of getting to meet Ricky Martin, who we found out he's actually performed to and competed to Ricky Martin's music in the past. He was such a delightful fanboy meeting Ricky Martin. I think he kind of hoped Ricky Martin would be his celebrity partner this season. What did you think of that?
Well, well, I guess that'd be real interesting seeing a same-sex Dancing with the Stars.
Honestly, I think it's about time. They should give that a shot at some point.
Well, yeah, or they could do a mix-up where they have boy girl versus girl versus boy boy. That'd be a more interesting competition, if you ask me.
Yeah. Or if they do another one of those switch up nights where they change partners around, they should give that a shot where everyone is performing with a same-sex partner, so you don't necessarily disadvantage one team over another. Everybody's dancing a same-sex routine. That would be certainly fun, but that's of course entirely speculation. And me, that's my Dancing with the Stars fan fiction going on. So I don't have any expectation that that's going to happen anytime soon. But a person can dream.
Well, hey, Dancing with the Stars producers, if you happen to be watching this, please take Daniel's idea into consideration.
Why, thank you. Certainly two against however many Dancing with the Stars producers and ABC executives are watching this. We certainly should get the overriding vote. And then there was Rashad Jennings, who I mentioned. He had kind of a struggle. He also performed the samba, just like Nancy Kerrigan, but he didn't execute it as well. He finished in the middle of the pack. He finished in sixth place, actually. I liked it better actually than the judges did, and I haven't liked him as quite as much as the judges have. I thought he's been good, but I didn't think he was quite up to the level of the top women in the competition this season. So I thought he was a little bit underscored this week. How about you?
Well, yeah, that seems like a fair. I think that seems fair. I mean, yeah, I mean, he did have a few missteps here and there, but I thought he did mostly solid last night. I mean, I guess we shall see if he improves next week.
And Simone Biles, she also did well. Those top four, actually the top five, were only separated by 3 points overall, which is quite impressive for them all to be within such a tight grouping in terms of their scores. Simone Biles got 32 out of 40 on the judge leaderboard. Normani got 34, and Nancy Kerrigan and Heather Morris got 33. Simone Biles would have done a notch higher had it not been for Liftgate. The judge Kare Ananaba penalized her for what she perceived to be lift in the routine. She was the only one who did that. Penalized her, and she penalized Erica Jane, and she even penalized Normani Kordei, who still managed to get the highest score of the night. I really do think she is her eyes are overly sensitive to that, because what she calls a lift, I really, in really all cases, it seemed like, that as a part of the choreography, it doesn't necessarily have to be, the most. She didn't penalize Heather Morris last week for doing a hip hop breakdown in a jive. So I don't know why she's such a stickler for these lifts. How about you?
Well, I can definitely see what you're talking about, but hey, at least Len was nicer this week.
Oh, Len was in a great mood this week. He actually gave Nancy Kerrigan the first 9 that he's given out this season. I think he was the only 9 he gave out this week, though there were several 9s given out to those top 4 performers: Kordei, Kerrigan, Morris, and Biles, all put together. They got a few 9s. So he definitely was in a better mood. And it was Kare Ananaba who was the cranky one. Next week, maybe it will be Julianne Hough who's a little bit difficult to please. And then rounding out the top 5 was baseball player David Ross. He did a jazz routine, inspired by Magic Mike. Which was funny, but what was interesting was that the judges seemed to be surprised that it was not only funny, but that it was actually well danced. It was good. It was like, no, really, it was good. It was funny, but it was actually good, and they seemed surprised by that. And I was a little bit too after last week. He had a bit of a misstep. I do think he might have been a tad overscored. 8s were a little much given how the scores were going that night. What did you think of Magic David?
Well, I thought he was a little overscored last night. I mean, I think he mostly did fine. I just felt, some of the aspects of his routine seemed a little weird to me.
What kind of aspects, felt a little odd?
Well, I don't know. I guess it was. I guess it must have been in his earlier dance where I guess how he was just shaking around his partner Lindsay, and I don't know. I might have to watch it again to remind myself.
Well, then you get to the bottom of the leaderboard, and actually the elimination. Charo, she didn't get the bottom score last week, but she was still eliminated. And I feel bad for her partner Keo Matsepe, who has, other than Jody Sweeten, this is his 4th or 5th season on the show. Other than Jody Sweeten a couple of seasons ago, he has been eliminated 1st or 2nd every single time. So the fact that he made it to his 2nd week, actually, this is tied for his best ever result, or 2nd best ever result on the show. I hope next season he gets to, like Artem this season has been so overjoyed at being able to dance with an Olympic athlete, so he can actually choreograph and perform more challenging and competitive routines. I hope Keo Matsepe gets that advantage next week. Although I did think Charo was good this week. I thought she was actually underscored. I didn't think she deserved to be at the bottom of the leaderboard this week, but she did tie for the lowest score. What did you think?
Oh, I agree. I mean, Charles really did a solid job last night, and so it's such a shame to see her eliminated after that. And I agree with you on Keo. He probably needs a more suitable partner to make it past the first 2 weeks in the future.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the stars, I'm certain, are just they love getting the chance to teach these contestants and just have fun on the show and introduce these celebrities to something new. But I'm sure that when if you get a Simone Biles, if you get a Heather Morris, if you get a Nancy Kerrigan, or Normani Kordei, you look at that and go like, just like, you do a little fist pump because one, that you might be around for longer. Two, as a professional dancer, one thing you want to be able to do is dance a really serious, competitive, challenging routine, and to be able to get to do that with one of the celebs is a big advantage that I'm sure they cherish when they get a chance to be, when they're lucky enough to be paired with a major competitor, a major challenger for the title. I wonder how they're chosen, the pairings, and because Sasha Farber got Simone Biles this season, who is one of the big top contenders, and Sasha Farber doesn't have like the seniority in terms of he hasn't been on the show as long as a pro. What do you think about that? How those partnerships are made?
I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe the professional dancers or I wonder if they have, choice of which. I wonder if the celebrities have a choice of which dancer they'd like to work with, or if the dancers just pull out random names out of a hat or something and just read, oh, okay, I'll work with this person.
I wonder if it's entirely random, just because Derek Hoff has gotten lucky 6 times on the show. And a couple times you can't really necessarily, you couldn't necessarily have predicted that, for instance, Bindi Irwin, a wildlife conservationist, would have been the most amazing dancer that season. But yeah, he got Nicole Scherzinger, who was a member of the Pussycat Dolls. He got Amber Riley, who was also on Glee, like Heather Morris is this year. So he's drawn some good talent over the years. Not competing this season, obviously, but I wonder if it's completely random.
Well, yeah, he also had Jennifer Grey a few years ago, and of course, as I said, he also gave one of the best dances of last night with his sister Julianne.
Yeah, he did appear last night to perform a dance inspired by their parents' divorce, which was a really emotional contemporary routine and a really tough act to follow. Of course, they're both professional dancers. A tough act to follow for the rest of the performers in the night. I wonder if we'll see him back on the show with 1 or 2 more special routines, because he's been, good luck for the show at the Emmys. He's won Best Choreography twice. So we could see this routine end up back at the Emmys, and he can add 1 or 2 more to that reel, to that Emmy reel for Best Choreography this year if he comes back. Especially, being able to choreograph a routine for himself and his sister, who are both professional dancers and can handle more difficult choreography. That's certainly going to look good on an Emmy reel. Maybe get that Emmy number 3.
Well, and it should be interesting because, of course, Derek was also on Hairspray Live this past December, and his choreographer on that, Jerry Mitchell, might be his competition.
Oh, that's true. So we could see a definite a smackdown between those two this year.
Yeah.
And whichever 7 So You Think You Can Dance choreographers end up on the ballot this year, that will be interesting to see, and it will be interesting to see what happens next week on Most Memorable Year Night, which is always one of the more emotional nights, and I guarantee someone is going to cry. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, that's always, I guess, an emotional time for all the contestants. I mean, of course, I also remember, week 1, I believe it was Simone who was on first, or someone else, but who really had an emotional backstory surrounding her grandmother, and their, first week, it might have been Simone or someone else.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to joining you again tomorrow or next week, next Tuesday, to discuss those most memorable year routines. Thank you for joining me, Jeffrey, and thank you everyone for watching. We will see you again next week.
Bye.